everyone, welcome back to another video and welcome to the unit. I will get more into detail on the unit next video probably. This is a beautiful motorhome that we're probably going to be working on as well. That's going to be next video, as I said. But today we're going to be doing the gearbox linkage on this Chrysler. It's my mate's Lee. He's a bit shy boy he is. So I might try to push him into getting into camera at some point. But yeah, basically what it is that the gearbox is it that right? It doesn't get into gears.
Yeah, the gearbox won't go into gear at the moment.
Yeah, that's what exactly.
Yeah.
So what you reckon it is? The cable just snapped.
The cable snapped.
Yeah.
The gear selector seized. The gear selector seized, which caused the cable to snap, I think.
All right, so we're going to be replacing that. So I'll bring it on for the ride. Don't worry about the mess. We'll get to that in the next video. But we're working on a Chrysler 2008 Grand Voyager 2.8, I think it is. So just to give you a bit of an idea what we're working with. So we need to remove the thread to get into the linkage, which is down there. Alright, we came a bit late to the party, but what it is basically is here you got your gear lever, and what you can see is because it's seized on the gearbox there, it broke in a couple of pieces the actual lever. You see, that shouldn't be that flexible there. As far as I know, it's just one from here all the way to the engine where I showed you before. So we remove our battery tray, which be careful because in this car you got a temperature sensor, I believe it is, on the battery tray, and you can see that's a linkage there, which it does move a bit, but it does feel like it's anyway. Right, so let me show you what it looks like. This is the new cable, and as you can see, here's what it broke inside the vehicle. All this goes through the firewall, and this is what we're trying to actually remove. Can you see? So that goes on top of your gearbox on the lever, and then we can reroute it. So what Lee's doing is working the selector backwards and forwards. As you can see there, he's struggling. Show us your power, Lee. Come on. It was working fine before. Now I get the camera out and fucking. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that is moving on. I'm trying to know where our lever goes, or where our cable goes, basically. So it comes there, as you can see, goes under the engine mount. And I don't know if you're going to be able to actually see it, but that cable that I'm moving is going into the firewall, and it comes right there, and then it goes into your gear lever, knob, whatever you want to call it. Say it. Tell me, Lee. Lee, tell me. Alright, so where does it root then?
Right, so it's rooting, go underneath the steering column.
Yeah.
Goes down under the column.
Yeah.
Into the back on the back of the heater matrix.
Yeah.
Which is a groove in the heater matrix. And it'll come out the other side of the heater matrix into another groove, I think.
Which is on my side somewhere.
On your side.
Yeah, and then it goes through the floor again. Lee just told me off camera that it should be simple, so as you know, the final words before everything breaks, and we spend here another week, yeah?
You see the linkage?
Yeah, so we need to pull that out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you remove that.
That's where we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I leave it off now.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, so that's off.
That's off.
Cool.
Right.
And then what does it do? Just push
I'll
back?
put my hands in behind there so it looks like it's still up. Now we need to push the clips in at the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's not too bad then.
Went out.
You think I'll be able just to pull it?
Well,
Seems like it. Oh, look at that. Yep, that's out. So as you can see there, we got a clip that we need to remove. If I can zoom in, for some reason doesn't let me. There we go. So that's the clip there. So this is what we're against at the minute. It has two clips there that we need to push, and in reality we should be able to slide it out. So let's try to do it. So as you can see, that's the bracket that it goes on, and here we go, old one. See, all you need to do is those clips that I show you. So they got stuck in that bracket there. It holds against that bracket, so you press them, pull from the inside, pull the actual cable in, and then you just clamp it up, just pull it up, and it will come out from there. And yes, it's definitely easier to pull the cable once you got it out through the engine bay than through the actual firewall. As you can see, our linkage cable is back on. Basically when you're doing this, all you want to do is just reverse the process. Instead of taking the cable through the engine bay out, what you do is just put it back in through the firewall, and then you get your linkage up here. And then, as you saw before, you got that bracket where you have to push it down and then pull it forward gently, and then the actual clips will span and hold against the bracket. And then once you've done that, you can just connect the cable to the selector. And now it's going to be the interesting part, because we don't know what gear is the gearbox on. So what we're going to do is move the selector backwards and forwards, see if we can get it in neutral, and then we rock the van so we are neutral. Now we connect our cable, and we need to put the battery back on to see in here which gear we are on, to put this in neutral, and that will tell us if we actually did the job right or not. So once we managed to know where neutral was, then we put the battery back on. We've run the cable, but we haven't connected it in here yet. We haven't connected it here, we just route it. And what we need to do, what we had to do basically, it was move the selector until it goes back in park as it is now, and now we'll start. So if we just connect our cable back to where it should go, we should be able to drive. So let's see. So as usual, nothing fucking comes to plan, isn't it? So we had to take the battery off. Now we got to connect it actually on the leads towards the battery, and we are working it. So we're working it forwards and backwards on these 14mm nuts. So basically it frees up a bit because it's still quite stiff on the actual lever inside. So that's what we're at. So we're thinking we're gonna adjust the cable by moving this nut here and see what happens. See if we get more force in this to push it back in park, because it's the one that is not giving us. So after adjusting that one for ages, seems like we got in the right place. I mean, now we got the Merc because we flattened that battery. So in reality, don't want to throw myself flowers, but you know, try. Let's see if it does it. So you park, reverse, neutral, drive. Yeah. Oh, that's better. And voila, Lee's car is fixed, he's driving properly, the gearbox actually feels really smooth, which we are surprised, you know, quite surprised. So I think that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and before we go, let me give you a little pic of something. and I shall see you very shortly.